You slacking on your macking. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Come on, girls. Yes. So listen, y'all. Today we're going to talk about modern dating and the business behind modern dating. I don't know if you guys know, but across the country, there are some single events that are charging women. It's like going to the club. You know how when you go to the club, they charge men, they let women in free. Well, at these single events, they are charging the women up to $100 to attend while men get in free. And the idea is simple. They want to fill the room with women, and then the men will show up as what they think. And this is in all cities across the country. But many Black women are saying that they are struggling to meet men who are available, stable, and ready for relationships. But at the same time, there's a growing industry. There's a growing industry around dating apps, single events, matchmaking services. So today we are going to talk about what happens when the dating market becomes unbalanced and who is making money from the situation. We actually do have the right people to have this conversation today, because my dating coach is on here, Miss Nomalanga.
She definitely be quoting you, Nomalanga. She be like what Nomalanga said.
Nomalanga said, Miss Marriage, Motherhood, and Shmoney. I got it, didn't I, Nomalanga? You ain't gonna beat me up today, are you, Nomalanga?
Oh, you got it.
What's it looking like in Botswana today, lady?
Crazy rainy, hey?
Is it?
It's crazy rainy. Yeah, for days and days and days, but I'm loving it.
Do you guys normally get rain like that?
So whatever season it is in America, it's the opposite here. So it's fall,
Winter?
I guess.
Mm,
No, because it's spring, right? It's just about to be spring, so I guess here it's about to be. Yeah. So here it's almost fall, so it's just the end of summer,
okay.
but lots of rain. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, cool. I hope you're staying warm. And then we have Miss Dominique. She is a physician and she's also a real estate professional, but she's married. So I don't know what she can contribute to the conversation, because this is a single girl conversation. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I know you can. Give us your marital advice of how we need to get it together, because me and Tiara.
Whoa.
We need help. Miss Black Hollywood, you with me, okay?
You see how they group you? People project. They just group you into things.
I need somebody with me. So and then we have Miss Black Hollywood. So you ladies, what has been your experience? Because Nomalanga, you're newly married. I think you said you've been married, what, about 20 years, Dominique? 20 plus years? 17 years. Tiara, never been married. Me, I was married 127 years. So we all have various experience in our journeys. Have you found, Nomalanga, when you were looking, did you feel like there was scarcity out there for us as women, especially Black women?
So when I went back out into the dating pool, what you didn't mention when you said I was a newlywed was that in my first marriage, I was married for 15 years. So I felt like, at first I felt like a fish out of water, because all I had known was being married. And actually the good thing about it is I actually did meet like really good marriage and dating mentors. And obviously it worked because I'm very well matched and married. And I had a good experience in the dating world, which I always hear people say there's pee in the, what does they say? There's pee in the dating pool. And my answer is always, yeah, and you're in it. So you're part of the pee. But the truth is that there really is you really can build a good dating pool. That's how I'll put it. Yeah.
And I do want to ask you later on, not right now, but the whole idea of being matched as opposed to being quote unquote in love? Because I think you said something to that effect. Maybe it wasn't match to be in love, but match, I think you said, was more important. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But Dominique, what about for you? You know, when I was married, I used to be like, ooh, I don't want to be single. Y'all got it hard out there. What is it like from your perspective? What you see with your single girlfriends?
So a lot of my friends are married. And the ones that are single are kind of okay in their singleness until they find their person. Like, it's not a rush for them to, get out there and date. They have come to the point where they enjoy their friends, they enjoy traveling. And so if they find their person, then they're okay, but they're not like, I have to be married or I have to find a person. They're kind of okay in the space that they're in. Like, they're okay. And even to the point where when they do date, they're paying attention to the red flags. They're paying attention to the things that don't work for them. And they're like, no, this ain't it. Let me move around. So that's kind of what I get. In my group, we have a lot of women that are married, and we have a few that are not married.
I love that you said that, Dominique, because I think it's so true. I was there. There was this relationship, quote unquote, guru that I used to listen to. But then when he started talking about, if a woman don't got a man, you cannot tell me that she happy. Like, we ain't out here pressed. We're happy.
Now,
we are traveling.
Are happy, and they're living their best life. They're traveling.
We're living our best life. We're enjoying our kids. We drinking our water. We minding our business. We is not pressed for. If we want to go have a man a couple of days out of the week, we can do that too. I mean, it's not a problem. But in terms of that, Tiara, what are your thoughts around the dating pool? Do you feel like there's pee in it?
I've, like Nomalanga said and Dominique said, I've had a pleasant experience. I know a lot of women walk around and they say a lot of different things like, I just can't find a man and all of my friends are single and all of this. And I really just haven't had that experience. I date really responsible Black men. I attract really responsible Black men who have careers, who have things going on, and they're looking to add a woman to their cipher or their world that can add value and all of that. So I feel like I have grown-up conversations with grown-up men who are out here living their lives. I do attract divorcees, which I absolutely love because the men have already been married. So that tells me that they understand the framework of marriage and commitment, and they want to do it again. Most of the time they're like, man, I messed it up. And here's the ways that I messed it up, and often have done the work. And now they're just like, now I just want to get it right. I had a man that used to say, like, once a boy, once a man. Like, I just want to be a man this time. And I'd be like,
that's right.
Okay.
I love that, boo. Come on, right? But and that's funny. Those, you said a couple things I thought were interesting, but I think it is about what we attract. I think we can all agree it's about what we attract, right? Nomalanga, like it's not pee in the dating pool because it's what you put out there. That's what you're getting back. And I think that's what's happening is when they say that there's pee in the date, when they act that they like their scarcity or they act out of desperation, you're gonna get it back. So Tiara said, I ain't got no problems because I'm dating grown ass men. I will say though, for me, when I'm looking at men who have never been married, it's a little scary. And I got to ask my dating coach, Domalanga, should I be looking at men who've never been married? Because they don't really have that experience of having to share. I would imagine that they're selfish and maybe they don't compromise. What do you think?
Personally, I don't recommend.
Yeah. At this stage in the game?
Because at this stage in life, now mind you, there are men who've like sometimes been in long-term relationships. There's single fathers. Tiara said, there's divorcees, but there are those occasional ones where it's about like a few conversations in, you're like, I know why you're single. You see? Yeah. So you just do really have to use your own discernment, and you have to build the skill. I've learned that dating, if you want to get into a good partnership, and by partnership I mean marriage, you have to take it seriously, and you have to acquire the skills, because people seem to think that it's something that you can just kind of wing it and hope for the best, and you're talking about something that you're supposed to get in and never get out. So you got to take it seriously, and you have to acquire the skills.
Listen, you got to acquire the taste for a relationship because I'm still trying to acquire the taste to even want to be in a relationship. I'm trying though, because before it was like commit. I couldn't even say commitment. Like what? So this is an evolution. Pray for me. Let's take a look at this video, though, Tiara. That with this thing.
It says the New York Times is reporting that dating for women in New York City is so brutal right now that some dating events are charging women $100 and men $0 to attend, and the ratio is still 3-to-1, women to men. So I'm not speaking for myself when I say this, but I don't know a guy in New York that can afford to court, meaning they have the money to go date and do the things. I don't know a single guy in the city that has the money to seriously date and they're exclusively dating one person. The majority of guys that I know, they're either tight financially right now, so they're not really dating, or they have the funds and they're dating all over the place. It's really rare to find a guy that has the financial ability to date and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to settle down. So this is accurate. I want to emphasize that I'm not speaking for myself in this post.
Is that the case? Because I think that's all over the world. Remember, were you guys at ABC a few years ago when they had the speed dating? What do you think of speed dating, Tiara?
I didn't go to it, but I remember they had it.
I walked up in there.
How was it?
Ooh.
Womanly.
Yes, it was like 90. It was like two dudes. I said, you know what? I tell you what, I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Y'all got this. I'm out. Nah, pimping. Like what? So yeah, I mean, I think that's the case all over. In fact, when my friends go to these events, it's always woman heavy. So I don't think that's specific to New York. What do you think, Dominique? Have you seen? Have you experienced this?
So I have not experienced that, but I think that when you think about those type of environments, you probably are not gonna really attract anybody. And men look at things differently. There, as you see, you don't have a lot of men there. Men are not, they don't really do that type of stuff. And not saying that women are desperate, but I think that sometimes we're, especially certain caliber of women, it's like I have to have somebody to the point where you'll settle or you'll do things like pay. I'm not paying, honestly, I'm not paying to go date, to be around a man. I wouldn't be at the event because I wouldn't want to pay $100 to be around a man like that. But I would go, like to different events, just like authentically matching with somebody. Those type of places, it wouldn't work for me.
Yeah. Would you pay, Tiara?
Yeah, I would pay for therapy and pay for a book and pay for all the things that's going to make me, again, attract a certain people. So for the last couple of years, when I realized that my attachment style was a certain way, or I was attracting a certain kind of man, or just based on the way I grew up, I was attracting avoidant men for a very long time. And so when I realized that, I took to therapy. That's what I did. And it was like, why do I attract this kind of man? Like, why do I? And obviously it came from, not growing up with parents. It's like you run after the things instead of, allowing those things to come to you, or feeling like it's too easy. Like the I know in my 20s, it was like the guys that really, really, really liked me, I'd be like, I don't like him. He's just so boring. And like I just had all of that. And so after I healed that part of Tiara, I think it made it easier for me to be like, I do hear the red flags a lot easier, or I can also appreciate men when they hit me up and they have all these boundaries. And for instance, I'm gonna just keep it quick, but I talked to somebody the other day and he came in hot. I'm looking for a wife. Here's what I want. I got 2 boys. We want to add a woman to this cipher. I was like, damn, do I want to be at this point? It's like, are you aligned with it? Do you even want this? He got a 9-year-old kid. Your kid will be 15 next week. Home stretch with her. Like, do you want a 9-year-old stepson? Like, I'm starting to really take my time, and I can hear the things, and just instead of being, I'm not desperate, but like, instead of putting myself in situations just because I want a man, I say, well, will this work for me? will this work for him?
I love that.
So just having a more mature approach to the way I date and how I date. And so that's been my experience.
I love that. And I love your approach to dating. I'm going to tell you, Tiara is a good girlfriend of mine. And let me tell you why she ain't shit. Last week I said, hey, T, I met this guy. I kind of like him, but he said something that spooked me. You know what this trick said? What do you say? I want to get married.
And she gave me a middle finger.
And that was the end of that conversation.
I know who you are.
I want to ask you, Nomalanga, if you would pay, but I kind of got the feeling that you are. But I'm gonna let you answer that question because you said something so classic before that I just don't think that you would pay for something like that. But I don't know.
I think you have to understand what you're paying for. Because for me, when I heard about this paying thing, I thought it meant that there's some level of exclusivity,
Right.
and they're kind of sifting through and getting quality, and you're paying for access to a room full of quality people, a certain caliber of people. And like I said, I think if you're really dating for marriage, you have to take it seriously. So absolutely, $100 might be too low. Because if you're really looking like that kind of thing where they've scrutinized the people and they're coming in because they're a certain caliber of people. So I would definitely pay if it meant that I had access to people who where they've weeded out the trash and there's some good quality in there and you want to get in that room. We do it with business. We do it in other areas of our lives. So why not this area, which again, you can start a business and fail and start another one, but you don't want to be doing that with a lifelong partner. You want to get it right. You want to scrutinize, you want to get in the right rooms, you want to get well matched, you want to be aligned, like Tia said. So I would pay. But what I was also going to add to that conversation is that the difference between men and women that has been proven over and over and over is that where there's a barrier for women have a barrier in terms of they decide who they will and will not sleep with. Men decide who they will and will not commit to. Mm-hmm. So these are two different things. So men who are not coming to these events are aware that these women are typically at the stage in life where they're looking for commitment and they may just be looking for fun or something else. So that's what that imbalance is. Now, if you told them that was a freak off or whatever those Diddy things were, there's a lot of men there.
Man, they be lying. They be paying
there's a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that nobody's expecting commitment. Everybody's going there for fun and sex and who knows what else. So there'll be lots of men there. Now, if they perceive that they're going to be squeezed into commitment and it's like it's right at the beginning, they're not going to show up.
Yeah, Noma, you have to pray for me because I be all over the place. Because I still have never had a boyfriend outside of being married. So I thought
I need a boyfriend.
Huh?
No,
I'm not trying to skip to the marriage part. That's just scary.
Just have like prospects. You don't need a boyfriend.
I wanted a
Tuesday.
Last year I just wanted a Tuesday. I was like, just give me a Tuesday and we good. I didn't even get the Tuesday. So just going to like nothing to everything is that sounds scary. That makes me a little tense up in here. I don't know. It does. But when you talked about paying, so let's talk about like a matchmaking service as opposed to maybe dating apps. Would you recommend it?
So from what Nomalanga said, I like that perspective, right? These are people that are vetted, we know their background. We kind of have an idea of what's going on as opposed to this random $100. We trying to just get men in the door. What quality of men are in the door? So when she put it from that perspective, that is different. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of these events are geared toward just getting men in the door. What quality or caliber of men are coming in this door? You get what I'm saying? So I just don't want random people. I want people that have something going on, that are looking for the same things that I'm looking for, that have, their career, they have careers. Like I can really pick from something, not just a random event.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know if I'm. Here's the thing. Like, of course, I said like I'm gonna pay on the self-improvement side, but I would just rather like take that $100 and go to like a nice convention, right? Meet like a nice, go to an architect convention, go to the DoubleTree in Beverly Hills, right? Go have lunch and bump into whoever. Just be in spaces. Go to the Soho House, right? Where I know there's a certain caliber of person that's gonna be there. But like you all are saying, like I would just rather put my money there. Because you're right, Dominique, when you say that the men gonna think you thirsty. They gonna choose if there's two men showing up to the whole event. They can choose the women, but the women are already coming with a certain level of like thirst. I don't know, like seriousness. Like I want this now. I'm not playing no games. I want to be married. That it's not fun. It's not like I'm getting to
Interviewing.
know you.
They interviewing and yeah.
Yeah,
So
like we going from 0 to 1,000 in like
yeah.
a night, and
Yeah.
and in
like
3 weeks you're gonna want to get married and be
Yeah.
like, "What is this? I just want to know what this is." Because I've also bumped into women that are like that they'll date like somebody for like a year or a month and be like, "I just want to know where we're going."
Oh my God. Calm
Like,
That's
down, please.
terrible. That
yeah,
is
like I mean, women are that
terrible.
thirsty though. Where is this going? Because I don't want to play no
It's
games.
not thirst per se. It's people who just don't want their time being wasted. But that's a very, very awful, that's an awful way to approach things because you don't get answers from men by asking them questions directly.
Right.
You get answers by talking about issues and hearing their views on issues, and they will tell you who they are. But if you say to him, there could be a man who wants to get married, and then if you say to him, "So you looking for marriage?" He's going to be like, "Well, no."
Yeah.
When you're all up on me like that, no, I don't want it. But actually, he is open to it. But if you know, like I said, it's a skill. If you know the right questions to ask, you have the right conversations, you get the information. He will give you the information. And mind you, you are also giving off information yourself with the questions that you're asking and your demeanor, and your level of calmness or kindness or beauty, femininity. There's so much that you're also giving off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Because
another
guys don't want to date another dude.
right. And I'm kind of like that, huh, Tiara? Tiara said I'm like a dude.
A little
Because
bit.
when you talk about like if somebody said it to me, I'd be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This guy told me one time, I don't, because I was like, I don't want nothing. So, and he was like, well, I don't want to talk to you because I'm dating with a purpose. I was like, we're friends now. Like, you can't dump me now. You my homeboy. That's how I feel. So I'm not dating with a purpose and you're going to be my friend. So F all that. So I am.
Y'all hear her, huh?
What?
Nick,
We're gonna be we
a
don't have to,
Negro.
we don't
I
got
was
to do
about to
all
call
that.
you
It's a lot. Slow
N-I-G-G-A.
down. Slow down.
Relax.
Relax. Let's take a look at this next video here.
Men
Right.
too, hey? And who are also desperate for like a mother or something.
I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people or even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women. Like a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like this.
There's a part, there's a part 2 to that, but I think that's interesting. There's a part 2 to that video, but basically the question is love dying? And what it looks like, is that a reflection of real life where there's thousands of women, looking for one man?
But is love dying? Because you think about this. I'm looking at my daughter and a lot of like these Gen Zs, nobody's thinking about getting married. Nobody's even thinking about being in a relationship. Nobody's thinking about having kids right now in their 20s. They're like, nobody. So is the question is love dying? Have you seen it? Is love dying, Nomalanga? Dominique? Tiara, is love dying?
I don't think it's dying. I don't think it's dying. I think that some of our children are looking at us and the state of our relationships and they don't want any part of it.
Dominique, what do you think?
I agree. I don't think love is dying, but to add something else to it, I think that we were in a rush, right? So you graduated from high school. Some people went to college, and it's like, okay, you get after this, you get married. It was always the next step. Well, with our children, it's not like that. Like they can just live their life freely. Our kids are not over. I mean, there's a lot of sex in the atmosphere, but they're not over sexualized. They're not really like seriously dating. They're not doing those things. They're taking their time. They're traveling. They are living their best life. Because it's not. We didn't say, "Hey, you got to get married now." What's happening next? So when you think about us back in the day, like when you would go around older women and you're a certain age and you're not married and you don't have children, they're looking at you like, what's wrong with you? When you get married, when you having children? Well, we're not necessarily doing that to our children. So I don't think love is dying. I just think that, it's not being pushed on them. But also, I think it's the narrative that's put out there about marriages and relationships. Nothing is going to be easy. Marriage is work. It is not a fairy tale. It's two people coming together as one, building something great. Do you think that's going to be easy? It's not. But people have an ideal of this being this easy thing. And so the narrative is marriage is horrible. The minute you make me mad, I'm over it. I'm getting a divorce. And it's like, okay, he didn't put the toilet seat down. Do you think I'm gonna divorce you over a toilet seat? But people are at that space where they don't have the patience for it either. So I think that plays a lot into it.
It does.
Ooh, I love what she said about the patience, because we live in a very instant world where everything has to happen right away or be, people want the wedding, but they don't want the long-term commitment. They don't want that. Like you look at the internet and it's like, ooh, people don't want nothing hard. People don't want to write. Like I want to just go to ChatGPT and let it write for me. I want everything to do everything for me. So I can't imagine being in this world and wanting that. But I also think it's what we're being programmed. I'm gonna always go back to story. I'm gonna always go back to what television and what media is feeding us about ourselves and about our communities. On one hand, I look at Black families online and I'm like, this is so lit. I love it. I'm looking at like DeVal and the different, and different couples that are online. And I'm saying, yes, represent the Black family in a way that makes us proud and look like this is what Black men are. This is who Black men are. So I appreciate that. Kev on stage. I mean, I'm just thinking about all the men that are online that I'm like, that's so dope. I love you showing your Black family. But I think there is a programming on the flip side of that. We have podcast culture where men are, where we have those conversations and those are tiring. But I think people are trying to figure out if they're Cameron Samuels or DeVal and Kadeen, right? They're trying to figure out who they are. And so I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird world to kind of live in. Social media.
That is true, because we grew up watching like Family Matters, The Cosby Show, and there was always that nuclear family. Sometimes they'd be a bit crazy, but there'd be a mom and a dad, and they'd be getting through life and going through ups and downs and problems. But they never ever suggested that if something is wrong, then that means they got to break apart the family, and they never said to their children like go out there and live your life and don't worry about getting a family. It was always kind of implied that somewhere down the line, when you leave here, you're going to create your own family. And I think sometimes when we go into this kind of liberal kind of thinking, it's like anything goes. And now we're living the results of that anything goes. Everybody's different. We don't have to blah, blah, blah. All
There's
that
no
rubbish.
standards.
And now we're just living that. Because people have said that you can do whatever you want, nothing matters as long as you're happy. I hate that word happy because I think it always excuses just a bunch of garbage. And then it's like you ask a person, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Well, this is what makes me happy. What about your community? What about your family? What about other people that you affect, affected? And impact with your happiness or whatever it is that you're pursuing. So no, I don't, anybody, not just my own children or our own children, my nieces, nephews, any child that is near me or young person that is near me, I do encourage them to be serious about their future. And even if they don't have to get married right away, think about it. Become a person that one day will make a good spouse, will contribute positively to your family and to your community. And if you're not thinking about that and being deliberate about it, then it means the opposite is happening. You're becoming one of those people who thinks that they can just go through life thinking about only themselves, and then one day wake up and think, oh, wait, I should have done this or that. And it's kind of like you don't have as many options as you did if you had started earlier.
The worst thing.
Constance, you got a question, friend?
No, I wasn't going to answer that dumbass question. I ain't gonna answer that stupid ass shit. I seen that shit. I was just going to ignore it. Well, I don't even know why you put that dumbass question on the screen. So Tiara, why don't you answer the question?
Nah, that's stupid. No. I think that's part of the internet, right? That's part of, we're in a space like Nomalanga says where anything can go. And I really say that is like our introduction to like reality TV. Just why I don't produce reality TV anymore. But we went from from television shows that we could create our realities, like The Cosby Show, Family Matters, Martin, whatever, right? Where men loved on women and they got through everything, ended in a bow and resolution.
Right.
And then you moved on to reality TV where there was no resolution. You only fought. And it's like training young girls and young women and men to just fight and be ratchet and ghetto through everything, right? And I just think that along with like us understanding like celebrities' lives and being obsessed with like gossip culture and people like Neo being able to come out and say like, I got 15 wives, but really like, or whatever he's saying, like, or I got 15 girlfriends. I tried marriage twice and it didn't work. You just have all of these voices or these people that don't deserve mics getting to say things. And I think it influences a culture.
So
he has 3 stupid women.
Yeah, he's had 3 dumb women. So he said it's not a dumb question. It's an honest question. And they said we don't like when the truth. A good man, that's an oxymoron. A good man who has a side girlfriend, a good man has discipline, has self-control, is able to commit himself. That's what a good man is. So that is not a good man. So no, I would not choose a man who lacks self-discipline, who lacks self-control, who lacks commitment, who lacks integrity. So no, it's a no. Yeah. So do we have another video?
We do. Right. So young lady saying why men are not dating women.
To me, how women are always online talking about how men are acting like females, and you're saying it in a derogatory way, which means you are self-admitting that you know that the image of a woman is a negative thing. If you're saying that men are acting like this and it's a bad thing, that means that you're behaving badly and you know it, and you're not calling it out, you're not changing yourself. So again, in these hard economic times, in these hard political times, in these hard, difficult, challenging spiritual times, you think that it's a good idea for a man to take on a woman? These same women who are getting online expressing how ungrateful they are, taking men's children away, putting men on child support, taking half of their stuff when they get divorced, just causing chaos in their life, causing drama. On top of that, you have to compete with this corn. And I don't blame people. I don't blame anyone. You act like, oh, because I have my genitalia, since I have this private part, I'm the prize. No, the prize is who's ever in demand, and women are not in demand anymore. There's way too many of us. We've gotten online and made it clear that we're way too easy, we're way too promiscuous, we do anything strange for a little bit of change. There's literally no incentive anymore. What is the point?
What is the point?
What is the point?
So she's saying who's in demand, and then she rattles off all these like undesirable things. But then that really brings us to the point that a woman who isn't all those things, she's in demand, and they're out there. So you just have to not be whatever, all that stuff that she described.
Right. Don't be promiscuous. Don't be desperate.
Yeah. All the stuff that she described, men really are. I get a lot of African American men who will say, I want an African sister like you, and I'm saying, and I will respond by saying, okay, that's flattering, but whatever it is that you're running away from, you're part of it. So now you want to subject this sister to whatever it is you're running away from, right? And it works the other way around too. If you say, I don't want these, Negroes over here, I want me a man from blah, blah, blah. But you're coming with whatever it is you're running away from, you're bringing it to some person who doesn't have all that going on. So it still brings us back to ourselves, and changing ourselves and becoming people that the very person you desire, you should become that person before you start thinking, I don't want this and I don't want that. You see, so she's correct in that there's a lot of ratchetness, there's a lot of all of this other things, all these things, but that creates like where if you're not that, you're so in demand. Like you will get so many men literally blown away when they meet you because you're so different from all of these things that she's just described. And I will say that there are men like that too. You can rattle off a whole bunch of things about, these Negroes are this and this and that. It's so refreshing when you meet a man that is none of those things. It's and so refreshing. And they're out there. They're out there. Yeah.
But can we have another conversation about the prize? Like, I hate that. Like, I'm the prize and my husband is the prize. Absolutely. We are the prize. So this conversation that one is greater than the other, I just think that, like Nomalanga said, like you attract who you are. You attract how you feel. And when we're talking about the prize, I am the prize. So I'm going to attract the prize. And Absolutely. So we have to stop having that conversation as if one sex is better than the other. Together, we are dynamic. Together, we are powerful. Together, we are awesome. And we are the prize.
We are all the prize.
Culturally, the woman is the prize, and she should be the prize. You don't see a woman getting on her knees to propose to a man. And when you do, I'm like, ugh, respect yourself, The man gets down and he asks for her hand in marriage. The man is the one who goes to her father and says, I want to, you see what I'm saying? She is the prize, but you have to ask yourself that question of why are we no longer being seen as the prize?
But that's the question too, Nomalanga, is that you said that they talk about we want an African sister, but they don't want to act like these African brothers. They don't want to pay a dowry to be with a woman.
And that's
they don't want to ask the father's hand in marriage. They want to do whatever the hell they want to do, and they want all the benefits of it. It's crazy.
See, yeah, and that's my point. But the thing is, a woman has historically been the prize. And there's a lot of reason, but we're the ones who devalue ourselves, right? So that we're no longer the prize. We're just somebody to run over and then next. But we actually have historically always been the prize because men and women are not the same. And when you get a woman that actually is the prize and you marry her, she will change your life. That's what we do as women. Men bring a seed and we grow it. It doesn't matter what it is that they give us, we grow it. We literally are the prize. And if you meet a man who's had a really good woman, a good wife, and then she dies or she leaves, he will tell you like, man, I don't know what to do. It's like his whole world is upside down because she was literally that missing thing that made everything make sense, that made everything run, that made everything beautiful, everything pleasant, and all these other things. And without her, most men who are raised well and have come from good, solid families will recognize that I need a good woman to build a life with. And if I don't have her, I don't know what it is, how to do this life thing. I'm not talking about basic things like people like, well, I can cook for myself and I can do my laundry, so I don't need a woman and I could blah, blah, blah. That's all rubbish. That's surface stuff. It's not about like multi-generational wealth and success. And when you see families that have been successful in marriage, in wealth building, and you see the manners and the way that they act and they talk, it's not just about doing your laundry and cooking your own food. There's so much more to it. And it's so insulting when people try to reduce that conversation to those basic things.
I was at someone invited me over to their house a couple months ago for a little Christmas party, and we were talking, relationships. And the guy, he's wealthy and he's a financial analyst, and he was saying, hey, me as a black man, I have 52 options to your one because I can go 50. And I've done the analysis and all this shit, and we're the prize. And I said, basically, if you're the prize, motherfucker, then I need to give you a tampon every 28 days because that's a bitch. And they were so mad at me. They were like, that's why you never gonna have a man. No, I'm not gonna sit up here and let you talk about men are the. I think that's so feminine. I think it's feminine. Men right here.
It is.
Like you
really
are you really opening your mouth, black man?
But that's
or
what
man
I keep
period,
saying. They
and your
exclude them.
masculinity to say I'm the prize.
But they exclude themselves. You just have to be in a room and listen to men talking, and they give you all the information.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. They'll be the ones who are saying, like, who talk about the value of a woman, and then they'll be the one who like, well, I make 6 figures, so you know,
who the fuck cares?
Right? I gotta be, you know, and you're listening to all that, and it's like he thinks he's impressing you, but for me, I'm already thinking next, you know.
I'm already thinking I could be sitting on my couch right now.
You see, yeah. And that's why I keep saying, if you're single, don't date one person at a time because they will waste your time for a long time. And before you know it, years and years of your life have gone by. Treat it like an interview process.
Absolutely.
Be open to dating different people, getting to know different people. Keep intimacy out of it because that confuses things. And only consider that when you've narrowed it down and you've considered people without all the emotions embroiled in it. And you really will make good decisions because you will meet a good man out there if you sift through, you're gonna sift through some garbage. But you really will meet good men. Every now and then you'll meet good men, and then you can consider that. But you should never ever have them think, because they get mad when you say you're dating more than one person. They get mad, like, I don't even want to consider a hoe like you, blah 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 blah. It's because they want to settle you down and have sex with you until they're tired of you and then move on.
And have
and
sex
they
with
want you
else
not
too.
having sex. Yeah. And then you not having sex with anybody else. So that's just a stupid game that they play. And you have to be smart enough not to play their game because they're playing their game that works for them. You got to play the game that works for you
That's
as a
an
woman.
unfortunate thing, though, Nomalanga. Tiara, the game.
The game. You know what, though? What I've learned about the game. I mean, if you could really, like Nomalanga said, keep intimacy out of it and just have a good time and get to know, you know, I think dating is like it's also a reflection of you. It's like a mirror, like you just having fun meeting and getting to know people. Like, sometimes I saw a video not too long ago, and it was like, if you go out on a date with 5 people, you have to choose one. No, like, get to know as many people as you can. Date 100 people before you decide to settle down, or at least go out on a date with 100 people before you can say, like, what kind of man you like, what kind of woman you like. And you know what I find that's really, really interesting is when I have conversations, I go out with a guy, a lot of times it's like, it'd be simple things. Like, he'd be like, man, you just listen. Like, I love that you listen. Like, you're just listening to, like, it's like the simple things. Like, women out here, if we can just say that women out here are extremely traumatized and they're traumatizing men and vice versa and all of the things. Because some of the good men I meet, it's almost like by the time I get to them and be like, come on from under it's like the boogeyman and they're hiding under a bed and I'm going,
they're traumatized.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Come on, it's cool. Like, come on out. And it's like
they're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Because my last wife, or I remember I was out with a guy and he was like, look, a woman just sent me, it was like 3 different women. 9 a.m. there had been a match. By 12 a.m. she was asking for money. Right? Like, so it was like all of these, that's a thing on social media too, where women are saying, in order for you to have a conversation with me, you need to cash at me. It's like, there's so much happening. I'm like, what?
I
So
met
there's a lot going on, y'all.
I met a guy on a dating app who told me that, but I'm like, when I exchanged numbers with him off the app, the first thing he did was send me a picture of him on a yacht. Look at what you're leading with, right? You're leading with this. So you don't think she's going to ask you for money, homeboy? Like, I don't care about the damn yacht.
That's true.
But do we have another video?
Doesn't mean he has to give it to you. That's so weird.
It doesn't, but it's like, to me, it's putting it out there like, I got some money. He doesn't have to give it to you. They're all traumatized. You know, I think a lot of times too, you know, when they say, oh, we got 8 women to, 1 man or whatever. Yeah, you got 7 of them are trash because 7 of them are traumatized.
That's right.
You really don't got 8 good, solid women.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, quality is a thing. All right, so then I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, well, is this happening around the United States, right? Like people are feeling like this, not just in New York, right? We're feeling it in Chicago, LA for sure, DC, I'm sure, but not in Botswana. So
There's trash
so,
in Botswana too, sis.
so I just was like, okay, well, let me just
Years I've
see
realized
what the
that
men say.
being single is the best option for me. A relationship is not worth it in America. The reason why I say this is because it don't matter what spectrum you're on as a man. You could be first spectrum, an attractive man. An attractive man will not have longevity with a woman that he's attracted to. Now, for example, say if an attractive man gets with a woman and this woman understands that he had options before. She understands that this man has freedoms as a single man to where he's not in need, he's not in lack. She is less likely to want to stay with him for long term speaking. Maybe the lust part of it, maybe she's sexually drawn to him, but when it's coming to security and the longevity of her relationship, she doesn't want to be with more of an attractive man because she understands she has to compete with other women for the entirety of that relationship. She would more so get a less attractive man for a marriage because that comes with the security of her being and knowing that she is his best option. He is going to praise her. He is going to buy her gifts, buy her flowers, buy her roses, and give her all of these things that she thinks she really wants until she realizes that she has no sexual drive or no sexual passion towards this dude. So she might like that simp for a little minute, that runner-up for a little minute, but then over time realizes that there's no sexual desire. And then she gets attracted to a man like me that's more of an attractive dude, has options, has been single, having his way in life.
So basically,
I was wondering which one he was. I didn't know until he said who he was. I thought he was a simp. I ain't know. Go ahead.
So basically, because he went on and on and on, but the point was that they're basically trying to say that we are all settling in a way, right? You can't go for the number. If you want a 9, you can't go for that 9 because that 9 is going to cheat on you. So you settle for a 3, and that 3 is going to love you, but you're not really going to like them. So everyone is settling for someone who is not what they want.
Men aren't selling, or they are.
Yeah, they are. Everybody is. Basically, is why.
But
dating
why
not-
is he spending so much time telling us what women are thinking and how they're choosing and blah blah? Like that's so weird. Why doesn't he tell us what a man thinks and how he picks and so on? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I will ask you, should we, because we've heard that we should marry someone that loves us more than we love them, Dominique. What do you think about that? Because that sounds like kind of what he's saying almost.
I don't know. So when you I met my husband in college. We were young, so I've been out the dating game for a long time, half of my life. I think that a man should love you dearly, but I think that you should love him too. So when it comes to that, it's like we both have, we're aligned. We kind of have the same mission, vision, and goals. Because when you look at relationships and marriage, it is almost like a business, right? Because you're trying to create this generational wealth. You're trying to, raise these children to be good people and to be productive citizens. So I think that you both should like each other a lot. I think that you both should want to be in this equally. And I believe that if I'm loving you and you're loving me, I'm making sure you're taken care of. You're going to make sure that I'm taken care of. I guess sometimes for me, like when it's one-sided, I struggle with that because he needs certain things just like I need certain things. And so for us to have a successful, healthy partnership, I got to be able to make sure that you're good. And then you're going to make sure that I'm good, because love is a fleeting feeling, right? I love you today. I may not like you tomorrow, right? You left that toilet seat up, so I'm mad and I'm not feeling you, but we have this partnership. I love you and I care about you, you know? So it's to me, it's like that when it's one-sided, I do struggle with that. Like I do feel like we have to take care of each other. We have to love each other.
Tiara,
I think it has to do with the fact that men and women are not the same. So the most important thing to a man, and I have been told this over and over since I was in my 20s, the most important thing to a man is that you need to respect him. That's how he will feel loved. It doesn't matter how much you love him, on him, or whatever, or you pour into him, all those cliches that women like to say. If you don't give him just some basic respect, if he doesn't feel respected and appreciated by you, everything else doesn't count. Now, a woman is different. She wants to be adored. She wants to be loved in that mushy way and babied and all that other stuff. And if you try and get everything right and you miss that part, that you don't look at her as, you know, that person that you just absolutely love. Again, the other stuff, see, like, because men will say she doesn't even appreciate me. She doesn't this, she doesn't that. That's because she's not feeling loved. And it goes the other way around. When a man is complaining, it's because he doesn't feel respected. So yeah, it's love. It just shows up in different ways. So we do tend to say the woman needs to be loved more only because we're using that word love. Whereas no matter how much you love a man, if you disrespect him, your love means nothing.
Tiara, should you marry a man that loves you more than you love him? Do you subscribe to that idea?
No, because I feel like I would just waste his life. I mean, if I didn't love him the way he loved me, I would
She'd be
almost,
dried up like shit, huh?
yeah, I mean, all of the things, right? Like, I just feel like at some point it'd be like, you gotta breathe today? Like, yeah, I
Right.
just wouldn't
Hella
like you. You know
irritated.
what I mean? Like, you roll over, I'd be like, you again? Breathing? All on me? Let me have a hug. No, you know, you're gonna get all of that after a while, right? So I think that it's just important to, like Dominique said, like who likes you. You know, I would rather, you know, more than even love y'all, and I say this all the time, I would rather a man just like me. Like me,
As a person.
like me. You ain't got to be in love with me every day, but if we have a basic, like, if I like you, if I rock with you, I'm like, I just like to go home to this person. I like who they are. I like in spirit who they, you know, what they feel like. Because many people love people and don't like them and don't want to be around them. So I just would rather have a kind of spirit where it's just like, I married my friend, my lover, somebody I can confide in, all the things. And I know sometimes, like, what the women are saying is that's work, but it's more likely to work if I like you and I want to just do it. Like, I want to do it. You make me want to do that. So
Do what?
well, that's my
Do
thought.
it?
Huh?
What's it? What's it?
What's what?
I'm so childish. Never mind.
Work on it. Work on it.
It's
You want to do the work.
It's yeah.
never mind.
It's
Do you have
what
any
is,
more videos?
we have one. We have stats, and then we have your last video. What do you want? You want
Let's
stats
do
or you want your
stats.
last?
What's
Sure.
the stats?
Shout out to Deborah Williams for putting them in the tan. All right.
The online dating industry generates billions of dollars every year through apps, events, and matchmaking services. Would you be on a dating app? Would any of you? If you were single, would you be on a dating app, Noma? Dominique?
I don't think so. I will say, I don't know if I've ever said it on this show. I met my current husband. I met my husband on Facebook. It was
dating?
just. I'm sorry.
Facebook dating or just Facebook?
No, just Facebook, where a friend requests. I actually sent him a friend request by mistake because there's like this thing where it says people you may know, and then there's like friend requests. And I was looking at my list of people you may know, and I was looking and I was like, because I was open and I was like looking at all these nice guys, and I was like, yes. And he happened to get it. Yes. So he got a friend request from me and he accepted it. And then the way he showed up in my inbox was so different than that typical, hi, you're beautiful, kind of, you're gorgeous, that stupid stuff you get. He was just so pleasant, and he just opened up a dialogue, and we got to talking, and the rest is history. But it was Facebook.
Did you guys have mutual friends?
Yeah. And I mean, Botswana is a small country. There's only 2 million people. So we ended up knowing common people, but we had never met. We'd never been in each other's circle. But it was just Facebook. We just friend request on Facebook, then talked inbox, and then eventually met on in person. And the rest is history.
Speaking of dating apps, a lady said to not use dating apps because it gives the illusion that there's an abundance of men. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I like apps. If it feels dry, whenever I go to a city, I turn on an app just because I know that there are men everywhere, right? There is an abundance of men. There's fat
It
ones,
is,
small,
yes.
there's skinny ones, there's short ones, there's tall ones, there's, you know what I mean? There's white ones, there's black ones. Now, I want to be with the brothers, but I'm saying there's men. There's men everywhere, and you don't have to go far for it. So, I think that there is an abundance, and whether you want to say it like Anonymous said, no, Malanga, you met your husband online, so there online. It's like we're all online every day, right? So if
Mhm.
there's a good person online, I'm sure there's another good person online that you can
Absolutely.
attract.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that it's just the way. I think it's great. I
It's
think
all
online dating is great.
mindset. I think everything
Mhm.
goes back to mindset because if you rocking with a scarcity mindset, that's what you're gonna get. That's the problem. Women now outpace men in college graduation rates in many major cities, which can shift dating dynamics. Are men intimidated by women who are more educated than them, or is it now it's a status quo because that's just what it is, especially in our community? What are your thoughts?
I think women lead with that. I don't think men care about
I think
that.
it's
I don't think men,
They
bullshit.
don't.
men like they don't. They really don't
I
care
think
about your degrees, sis.
men of beans don't care what the fuck you got. They're like, okay, I don't care if you work at McDonald's literally, because I don't want your money anyway.
But the other way around is not the other way around, right?
Yeah, no,
You
no.
you meet a
Yeah,
man and you
we're
Yeah.
be
not
like, I
And
we're
work
that's
at
why I
not
keep
McDonald's.
saying, yeah, men and
Yeah.
women are not the same. They are not the
You be
same.
like, you
Yeah.
work at
Men don't
McDonald's?
care.
the men
Yeah.
don't care.
Men don't care.
Men of means, I'll say it's a difference. Men of
But should
means, I
it
don't.
be that way where if you meet a
Even
man
if
that
they
works
don't
at
have
McDonald's,
means, if they're just a decent man, and they understand their role in a woman's life and their role as a man in a family setup, they're not looking at her job because that's
Baby,
like
that's a
a
man of means.
minuscule.
I'm not talking about he got to be rich. I'm saying like a good man, like a man of means.
Good,
So
yeah.
he
They
has
don't care.
maybe something solid. He's working. He has, you know what I'm saying? He's taking care of business. He's responsible. To me,
well,
that's a man.
if I could just say this, I learned the hard way through the death of my cousin India that you cannot not date down, but date someone who is on their way up. Because at some point they are, regardless if you may, my cousin hired hired start dating an employee, and that employee eventually became her husband, and they lived
Mhm.
together for 15 years, and he could not still get over the jealousy. She became doctor, she got her doctorate, she did all the things, had a really successful company, and he ended up murdering her and murdering himself. So just out of like, for money, like money was like, well, I want to be on the business. I want to be on the business now. I'm your husband. She was like, no, we're leaving that to the kids. He was like, she was like, I'll help you start something. Or obviously she had helped him make money. But, I just think that there's this imbalance when a woman makes money and a man doesn't. And this jealousy can overcome you, and, they can unalive you. So I just think that
Yep.
it's a hard thing.
Surveys show many single reports dating fatigue, especially after years of app-based dating. It's just shit gets worn out. But one of the things that somebody said earlier is that's why you guys can't find a decent man. Nobody's looking. That's the thing y'all don't understand. You guys think because we're not with anybody, like we're pressed, and we're not. A man is the easiest thing to get, you guys. It's not hard to find a man. It's really not. It's the easiest thing. So, we do get worn out from dating fatigue, from being on the dating apps. I know I'll get on there and then I'll be like, turn this shit off.
It gets
And
boring. Yeah. It gets,
I'll be on there 3 days and I'm off. But if I'm bored, I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing that tonight. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a conversation. So boring. Is that the last one?
Yeah, that was the last one.
All right, let's look at the last video and then we're gonna get up out of here. Can we look at the last video?
Sure. I don't remember what it is. Just probably somebody else saying why dating in America is horrible. Yes.
You do know it's not just in America.
Is it around the world?
US dating
That's
scene
actually a good
absolutely
thought.
atrocious. I'm from the UK and I've been here for about 7 months now, and I've just realized that these people will accept literally anything. Like in the UK, when I used to try and date a girl, we can't take her to the regular spots, and even if we do take her to the regular spots, like we're trying a little harder. Like we're dressing up, we're smelling good. She's also dressing up, she's smelling good, and we're just going to just do something fun. Like it's more of like an exciting experience. I know that I'm about to probably run it up, especially if I like her. But over here, all he needs is just a bag. Or if you don't have the bag, then at least you have the sleeve. And if you don't have the sleeve, then you have the dreads. Make sure you have a bad dress sense too. Like, it's genuinely no romance, no effort, no nothing. And they'll accept it just because they feel like, oh, this guy might be able to change my life, or they can change him. I don't know. It's all out of a movie that, to me, I don't even want to be watching right now. Like, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned here is that the girls don't expect much. And because the girls don't expect much, the guys don't give much. Because they have this mentality that somebody else is going to take it. I don't know. It's weird to me, but follow me for more, man. I'm not.
What do you think? Dominique, what do you think? You think that we have such a low expectation and we don't expect much from these men, and that's why it is like this?
No, I don't think that we have low expectations per se. I think that the narrative that's out there is that all men or all women are this or that. And so we don't go out, we're not out there with an open mindset, because we're just going based on the narrative that's given to us on social media, that men are horrible, women are this. And so when you meet somebody, I think a lot of times people don't give people an opportunity, because of the narrative that's been painted. If you look a certain way, or if you do a certain thing, or people just kind of write it off. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. What about you, Nomalanga? What do you think?
I think that it's interesting that most men will, whatever standard you set, they will rise to it. As long as they're basically a decent person, they will rise to whatever standard you set. So if you're feeling like there's, low standards or whatever, it's because your standards are low. Because I find like a lot of women, again, sometimes they do have a lot of negativity in their mind, right? So they don't set a very high standard. But it's not even in the most difficult things. It's just a little thing like when you go out, for example, you don't all have to do this, but if you get to a restaurant, for example, and it's time to sit down, you can just stand by your chair. Don't sit down. And most men will figure out that, oh, I'm supposed to pull out her chair. But if you just go and sit down, he'll never pull a chair out for you ever again. Just little things, right? Or even if you go to your door and you just stand there. And he gets in and he's kind of like, well, what's going on? And you're just kind of standing there looking surprised, like, whoa, what's happening? Why isn't my door opening, kind of thing. Most men will come out of their side, come around, open the door, and actually apologize that he didn't open your door, close you in there. It's because of the standard that you set. And I think that a lot of sisters, they don't even think about what they're doing out there. That is, they're not requiring much from men, so they don't get much. And again, if you end up standing by the door and then he's like, girl, you need to get in here and blah, 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 then he's off the list, right? It's done. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So most decent men will rise to the occasion. And again, it's about conversations. If Valentine's is coming up, you don't have to say, well, I need roses and blah, blah, blah. You might just tell a story like, wow, the whole time I was growing up, my dad never disappointed my mom. It didn't have to be fancy, but sometimes it'd just be a single stem rose and it meant so much. He gets the picture. He understands. You don't have to say, well, if he's not taking me to Cabu or whatever these places are, and he's not this, that, and I ain't blah, 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 all that nonsense. It's not necessary. But you have a way that you can set a standard. You can have conversations that give people guidelines about what your expectations are. And 9 out of 10 times they will meet your expectations.
I'm so glad.
I'm giving away too much free information here.
No, that's some game right there, and that's what our young people need to know. I mean, this is what I tell my daughter. Like, if you set your standards high, they're going to rise to meet that, right? Wherever you set your standards. So if your standards are at the bottom, then that's where they're going to approach you. The men who are at who are at the bottom, they're not even gonna come. They're gonna look your way because your standards are so high. You don't want them motherfuckers anyway.
Right.
Anyway, but Tiara, I want to ask the same question to you. Do you think that what this man is saying about our standards just being too low, we just accept anything?
Yeah, I think I like what he said about just being American girls are just so focused on the bag. I think we can see that. Like if he got
On the
money,
sleeve.
he gotta spend money. I love so you gotta at least have the bag. If you don't have the bag, you have the sleeve. If you ain't got the sleeve, I like that. Because I understand the importance of having a man that's financially stable, but I do think that women will date if a man seems successful, they will overlook a lot of things just to be in a situation where they're taken care of. And integrity included. He ain't got to have nothing, but if he got money to make you look like you're living a certain lifestyle, you kind of like overlook everything else. And I don't think that should be the standard for relationships. So I think the way that we are trained in America or just trained online is to just look at money and not character and just looking for the traits of a good man. You can see a good man coming, right? But if you don't have enough money or you'll miss him or, like I think we've said, you can connect with a man and pour a little bit into him or whatever, or respect him in a way or all the things that we've been saying. And he will elevate anyway. He'll figure it out, but he just needs the right kind of woman. But if you ain't looking because he ain't got a bag,
That's
you'll
so
miss it.
stupid. I think there's a real disconnect between men and women, especially black men and black women. Because I was talking to a friend, millionaire, got money, and he was actually, but maybe it's his experience, maybe it's not. I know he told me one time he was taking this girl who he knew she was broke because he knew how much money she made, and he was going to take her out, and he was like, okay, let's meet here. He said it's like $50 a plate. And she was like, well, can we meet over here? He was like, okay, why? And he said that place was like $300 a plate. He was like, okay, is it like closer to you? Like what? She was like, look at the way I look. I can't be going to this place that's $50 a plate. And you got to pay for this. And he's like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and cancel. This is what he told me. He told her.
Yep.
But he's the same guy that told me that he felt like a woman would not allow a man to take them to ice cream on a first date. And I said, on the contrary, I said, I'm gonna do an experiment. And I posted it on all my social media pages and it got hundreds of thousands of views. 99% of women don't care about that shit. That's social media banter. We don't care about you taking it to some food. It's food. It's freaking food. You eating. I can cook as good as these 5-star restaurants. Take me somewhere so we can have a conversation, so we can have a moment. I get to know you. Most women don't care about that shit. And the ones who do, they're not worth the salt anyway. So I think there's just that disconnect because it's social media influence in, men and women and how we look at things or how we perceive the others to be. It also goes back to racism. There is a scarcity, I will say, because there's an imbalance. We're the only race that does not have an equal amount of men and women. We have way less men than we have women. Then you add on their mass incarceration. Then you add on all these other things. So we don't have. So then there are more women than men, and so that's kind of where some of the desperation comes from. Is this imbalance? But let's.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
They're
strong enough for a woman.
There are way more black men in the world.
Yes.
So if you confine yourself to one little country or one little continent, of course it will be.
Hush. All I'm saying is,
and some of them have like a British accent. Some of them.
I need them to be able to quote Good Times. No, listen.
Cosby Show in Botswana.
No, I need them to be able to quote Good Times and tell a yo mama joke. And I don't know.
Y'all see why Constance gonna be single, y'all? It's limited. It's limited.
So
she's not unique. Most women close themselves into this tight little corner. She's
My
not
friend
unique.
gonna have cats when them kids leave.
Dominique, what are your final thoughts, lady, on this topic here today?
I think that, we have to focus on ourselves first and foremost, making sure that you're doing the work, the inward work, so that whatever you're attracting who you are, you're attracting how you feel, you're attracting somebody as a healed, whole version of yourself. And I think that also just, getting back to the basics, like I get it, we can do all this social media stuff, but just, meeting people in random places, having conversations in grocery stores, things like that. It doesn't have to be so complicated. And you can find your person, but also being okay with being single and not being so desperate that you find yourself in bad, unhealthy, toxic situations. So those are my final thoughts. So I am Dominique Morgan. I am the co-founder of the Whitmore Group, where we exist to educate, empower, and equip individuals to build businesses and build wealth through real estate. So if you are looking to purchase, we can help you purchase throughout the United States. And you can go find me on social media at the Whitmore Group, and you can go to our website at thewhitmoregroup.com.
Woohoo! You preached the whole word, sis. I love that. What about you, Miss Tiara? What are your final thoughts?
It's so funny because we have J Mac and all these different people in the comments saying about how we're lost and we don't know, and women have too high a standards. We see you and we hear you. But clearly you're single and you at home by yourself, like
Bang, bang, bang.
masturbating in the basement. We have another one. All right. So listen, my final thoughts is this. I just would say that I love what Noma said about there are men are everywhere. You can go outside the door, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to the library, like there's gonna be a man there, right? Like, and so I would just say go outside and meet them. A lot of women complain about not having a man, but they don't even go outside. A lot of women don't even leave their homes, and they're talking about, I just want to meet a man. I can't meet a man. Go outside, sis. Get from in front of this computer or this laptop or this phone that's telling you that life is one way. Most of the time when I go outside my door, I experience a completely different reality than I do here on this internet. So I would just encourage you to just go outside, right? And I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that's pleasant and pleasurable for you to hang out with or date. I know I'm doing that. If you are looking for me, I am at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms. And yeah, come on, let you go.
Hey, they over there. These losers are over here giving J Mac props. J Mac is probably beyond my 600-pound life. This Negro got a plate of food right here.
J Mac ugly.
While he's fantasizing about us, no less. 600-pound life. Anyway, Nomalanga, these lonely ass men on here. I never date you. Okay, go ahead, Nomalanga.
That's cool.
So final thoughts. I do like what everybody's saying about kind of just get out there, meet people, keep your mind open, and also understand that the way you play in the dating field is very different than how a man plays. So play the woman's game, don't play the man's game. Yeah. And if you're serious about dating, I have no doubt that you will find the right person. If you take it seriously and you apply the knowledge that you get from a good coach or a good mentor, it doesn't even have to be professional. It can just be a woman who's, grown, like Dominique, who's grown up in her marriage and she understands some things. It could be your auntie or whatever it is. If you take some good advice and you apply it, you keep an open mind and you're serious, it'll happen for you. I'm so sure of that because I've seen it over and over. If you would like to find me, my name is Nomalanga. I am a Facebooker. You will find me on Facebook. If in any of my courses at the Black Business School, I do answer inboxes about those courses, so feel free to inbox me on Facebook. I'd like to also ask for your support at our charity. It's Pads for Our Girls, padsforourgirls.com. Any amount that you donate goes towards helping young women who are still in school, who are too poor to afford sanitary pads, and sometimes they have to stay home because they can't afford them. So any amount helps. Go to padsforourgirls.com and donate.
Yay! Thank you. I just say this: see God. I mean, it's not that serious. I think, we just got to seek something outside of ourselves, and you're going to get the desires of your heart, whatever you put out there. We joke and we have a good time, but at the end of the day, we're all good people. We want to add value to other people. We just want to create solid lives and just have an abundance of everything that's good. And so we live in that space. There's not going to be a man or a woman or anybody outside of us that's going to make or break us. It's going to just be added to us. It's simple. So before we get out of here, I see it's Women's History Month. Oh shit! So let me tell you.
Yes. So we got. Wait, did I put a woman? You don't have to. If you have a woman that you want to celebrate, but if you,
I see her in there.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you guys know. I did a thing about her, but Annie Turnbull Malone. She was the hair care maven. Madam TJ Walker actually stole her formula, stole her shine, stole her image and likeness, and actually was dubbed the first Black woman millionaire. But Annie Turnbull Malone actually was. She paid more out in taxes in the state of Missouri than anybody else at that time. She made so much money. Her husband came after her. She had a whole block named after her. And they have an Annie Turnbull Malone Day in St. Louis right now. She built Poro College. She trained hundreds of Black women, and she showed them how to make money in the hair care business. So she created a lot of opportunity, a lot of jobs. She wasn't just about herself. She was about everybody else. And the thing about it, if you look at the Madam C.J. Walker movie, they try to make her seem like she was a colorist because she's light skinned, whatever. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But I know what she was the first Black woman millionaire. And I do know that Madam C.J. Walker, that celebrated, actually stole her shine. So while we getting ready to get up out of here, y'all, I just wanted to say that dating is personal, but the patterns around it can reveal bigger social and economic trends. When people are paying just to attend events to meet somebody, it shows how much the dating landscape has really changed. And for many Black women, the conversation about relationships is also tied to stability, partnership, and long-term life goals. Understanding the dynamics behind dating helps people make better choices about where they invest their time, their energy, and their resources. Y'all, this has been a great, great, great show. We will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good shit, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.